5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good afternoon. I nearly said evening then, but it is afternoon. How the devil are we all? A bit of a businessman's lunch meeting this, which back in the day meant something completely different. And those that know, those that don't worry about it. I hate midweek games. Good afternoon, Tom. I mean, they just throw everything out of all sync, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit, mate. It feels like we've not had much of a break really from the last one, you know? So, yeah, it's amazing how quick the season goes when you get to it. We're nearly halfway now, mate.
I know. And, of course, big week for Leicester. Yeah,
the big week where we're going to find out if I owe you beers or you owe me beers.
Well, this is the worrying thing, isn't it? You know, I'm in a championship chat and I've just put in there and I said, I just want it to go away. I just want to, whatever it is, good or bad, accept it and let's just move on, you know.
Yeah.
But
See what happens, mate. I want them to fight it. Let's not have an argument about this to start the show.
No. We will agree to disagree. Yeah. Welcome along, everybody. This is where we do look back at the review the game. And I just realised that my banner going across the bottom is completely out of date. Let me just do the review show. There we go. I've got the wrong banner up. There we go. We've got the match this evening, of course. So do join us. I'd say at what time, but what time's the kickoff tonight?
7:45, mate.
So 6:45, everybody. Be here or be the square or non-round or whatever you want to say. But look, it's difficult to predict this, isn't it? Look at how I'm doing in the prediction league. I mean, we're all over the place.
We are, mate. It's very hard to predict for tonight's game, isn't it? I mean, we'll talk about my prediction on the show tonight, I think, rather than right now, because we'll build some suspense for it. But, it's going to be very interesting. It's a big game for us tonight against a team that's in a really, really good bit of form now the last 3 games since Will Still's been sacked.
It is that, isn't it? I mean, I was saying, and I don't want to be accused of being the guy that got Will Still sacked, but I was saying for a long time, wasn't I, that he needed to go.
Yeah, you were, Chris. You were very much on that sort of wavelength, which I understand because ultimately you've got to get results, right? I mean, I've always said I think they've been playing okay. I think their problem's been not putting the ball in the back of the net. The problem is we're coming into the team now that is putting the ball into the back of the net. So it's the biggest challenge of the season I feel we've had so far tonight.
Right. Oh, apparently it's 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, is it? Oh, I got my timing wrong. Oh, 7 o'clock it'll be then.
Yeah. Honestly, look at it's Brad. Oh, no, sorry, it's Armchair. Everyone's a critic. Do you know what I mean? But look, welcome along, Armchair. How you doing? And if you are in the chat, please do get your thoughts in there as well as each game. Let me just change that over. I'm completely not with it. I hate midweek games.
We've had tech issues yesterday as well, Chris. You had some few tech issues, so it's not entirely on you, this one.
It's not, but I should have been more ready. But anyway, here we go. So let's start at the beginning, which was a Friday night game, a Northwest derby. Preston North End, who, let's be honest with you, in fairness to them, have not had a bad start. And when you look at it, still doing reasonably well. Blackburn, who have suddenly started to turn, as we very well know, have suddenly started to turn things round.
Yeah, since they beat us, mate, they've now won every away game they've had since then. They've been on the away train, winning streak. So, yeah, a very good result for them here. I mean, this was a game where Preston were undone by set pieces, from what I saw. I mean, Preston, once again, very good at home. They're playing their very unique system as well and doing well. But, yeah, just before we start, Jake Edwards does not play for us.
Oh, everyone's a comic armchair, aren't they?
If we end up with a player called Jake Edwards, Chris, we know you're psychic.
Well, exactly. I'm not saying that I've got a side job as Jake Edwards' agent or anything yet, but just watch this space. Watch this space. Sorry, mate. You carry on. That made me laugh.
No, that's fine, mate. It's great. Please get your comments in the chat, guys. We love it, honestly. But yeah, this is a bit of a surprise result, really, because Preston have been pretty, good at home as well. They obviously beat us, and but they're still up playing fifth place from this. And Blackburn, of course, starting to pull away from the bottom three after it was looking a bit shaky at the start.
It was. I mean, they're up now to 18th, and we'll look at the table obviously at the end.
Yeah,
they've only lost one in the last five, though. Blackburn.
Yeah, they have, including 3 away wins, which is remarkable, And what's been the difference, Chris? Once again, we talk about this a lot in this league, is changing the tactics, because they've got out of what we were playing, the 4-2-3-1, and they've now gone into their formation of 2 up top, basically, with the 3 at the back. And all of a sudden, they've started to be able to find the net. So playing 2 strikers has made a real dividends for them.
If only other managers could work this out. Preston. Look, we're waiting for the drop off. They're fifth. They have been higher, obviously, but they are starting to sort of slowly fall. They've still only lost 4, though, and they have only lost that. It was their first loss in 5 games again. But you just get a feeling like with Preston or deja vu, they're going to finish about 10th or something outside the playoffs. So I had this down as a 2-2, I've got to say.
I think I had the Preston win on this one. And the funny thing about this game is, Chris, you talk about how Preston sometimes drop off. This game's a good indication of that, because the first 45 minutes, they could have been out of sight. They really could have been gone and had this game 3-0 wrapped up. And unfortunately, they did. They sort of sat back a bit, and then Blackburn got on top of them. So, if anything, they've taught themselves a lesson from this game, especially being a derby as well.
Yes. I mean, that's why I went for the draw, because of the derby effect. Next up, Bristol City beating Swansea 3-0. Good win for them. Again, Bristol City, that in 4th. That's probably as high as they've been, and they may have been up to 3rd at some point. But, I'm loving Bristol City.
Yeah, they really do really well. I mean, look at their team on paper. You don't expect them to really be pulling up many trees, really, do you? But this was their first win in 4 games as well. So they had a bit of a dodgy run heading into this. They got hammered at home by Stoke, didn't they?
Yes.
So I think this is a really good result. It's unfortunate for Swansea because, of course, they have sacked Alan Sheehan and they hadn't appointed the new chap Matos yet, who's coming in from Maritimo in Portugal. So I think they're in a little bit of no man's land, with the caretaker manager here. But Swansea are just getting a bit too passive, mate. And this league, gets you in trouble quickly with that, doesn't it? Because they've dropped right down the table after looking quite decent, really.
So, yeah, for me, Swansea, and I actually didn't. I got the outcome correct. I went for a 2-1 Bristol win. Well, it wasn't in the Super 6, but I went for a 2-1 win. But Swansea have been struggling for quite a few years. I mean, let's not forget, not so long ago, they were a Premier League side.
That's right, exactly. And once again, I look at this as a tactical problem because they've got 2 probably the best strikers in the Championship on their day in Vipnik and Adam Ida, who obviously come from Celtic. And they're only playing one of them. They're playing this 4-2-3-1 system. And I think that's part of the problem because they're rotating between the 2 and neither's getting a run. And I think if they played the 2 up top, if they played the Blackburn system, ironically, I think Swansea would be doing a lot better than what they are.
Yes. I'm not a fan of this 4-2-3-1, but, it is what it is. We have to live with what we're given. I remember last time we were in the Championship a couple of seasons ago, and I did the preview with, again, some of you guys will remember it, some of you might not. But there used to be, I think it was on BBC Three at the time, but the most amazing one of these, fly on the wall documentaries, and it was called The Call Centre.
Yes, I remember it. Yeah, yeah.
And R.I.P. Nev, by the way, who's since passed on. But what a character! Whether he'd get away with a lot of that, I don't think going up and twisting an employee's nipples is necessarily allowed now. But it was, and I think obviously working in that sort of environment, I absolutely loved it. Do you remember Chickenhead?
I think I do. Yeah, I mean, I can't quite remember who was who. All I remember is it came out just after The Office, really, and it was the real life version of The Office.
Chickenhead was the youngster. He was the one that was into football.
Okay.
When they ran a football team, he did it. He was the young, stud, if you like. He was called Chickenhead, and he never knew. I didn't realise because I got him on the preview when we were in the last time we were in the championship. And I said to him, "Do you do Chickenhead? How did you get that nickname?" And it was apparently because he always likes KFCs. They're his favourite takeaway. And I went, "Whoa, that's not what I've checked that chicken head meant." And he went, "What does it mean?" And I said, "Well, just look at the movement of a chicken's head."
Yeah, exactly. Bobbin.
Yeah.
I was in a comedy character I played called the Tom. I used to run around London in a pair of Speedos, pretending to be a wrestler. A policeman stopped me, Chris, and he said, "You do realise in London slang the Tom means male prostitute?"
Yes, of course it does.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was there just running around shouting on the Tom in front of all these strangers. Yeah, I was a bit of a lunatic in my youth.
That is class. That is
disappeared from Facebook, luckily. They've disappeared. I'm not sure where they've gone. So that's a good
Did you then start using your full name? I'm Thomas.
No. We were too committed by that point. We filmed half of it, so we had to follow through.
Thing is, like, if you went to the wrong part of London and you go in and saying, "I'm Tom," you'd have like a Monty Python moment with everybody else going, "No, I'm Tom. No, I'm Tom. No,
Yeah.
I'm Tom."
My God.
But anyway, back to the point was that the guy, he is a big Swansea fan because it was filmed in Wales, and he was saying then they were absolutely rubbish. He actually predicted a win for us that day. Lovely man. Very down to earth, but and so they're not really. I'm not saying they're a sleeping giant, but they've had a few seasons where they've kind of probably felt quite lucky at staying in this division.
Yeah, a little bit. And now they've dropped only 7 points above the drop zone, haven't they? So the new manager's got a bit of a job there. I mean, you look at their team on paper and there's players in there you think, they're not really much different than Preston, are they? Really from the squad they got to use. So I think with a new manager, hopefully they'll be able to push on a bit. But the thing that concerns me about Swansea is what's been going on for a few years now. They're a bit passive, aren't they?
That's the thing. Now, this next one, got completely wrong here. Look, everybody, and hi Andreas, how you doing? Hope you got a note from your mother. I like Charlton, and I still can't explain why. Charlton's is one of those teams I've got a soft spot for.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew why. I mean, I used to have a soft spot because I used to move around the country with my job. I was Leicester, then Blackpool, then Blackburn, then Burnley, then down just outside Bournemouth. And I always used to keep an eye out for Blackpool and Blackburn and what have you scores. And I realised that because I'd worked and I knew people in those towns.
Yeah, I'm the same with Oxford, yeah.
Yeah, don't know what it is with Charlton, but I went for a 1-0 win to Charlton. My God, how wrong was I?
Well, I went for a 1-1 draw, mate. It's only missed by the 4 goals on top of that myself, so I feel you.
I mean, Southampton, look, they're up to 16th now, 21. They're only 3 points behind us. A win today could actually see us being the lowest of the 3 relegated teams.
I wrote that. It could be the first time this season.
Yes, exactly. What changed at Southampton? Is it the manager?
It is the manager, yeah. It's interesting. The answer was given by the manager himself in the post-match because I was trying to work this out as well. Because the thing that's changed is they've played like 4 different systems this year, Chris. And, and now they've settled into one of those systems. And the manager said something in the post-match was very interesting. He said, the thing we've changed is we've played through the lines quicker. I think before they were doing what Leicester have done, which is they weren't quick enough at getting the ball in the opposition box, losing the opportunity for a clear-cut chance. I think now they're playing through the lines quicker and creating clear-cut scoring chances. And look at this, they had 4 goals in 20 minutes in this one against a very defensive team.
It was a mad 20 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, all these goals came in the first half as well. So the second half, they could put their feet up and have a cup of cocoa, couldn't they? So they'd already completely, steamrolled them in this one. And I mean, Charlton do have a few injuries coming into play, which probably didn't help them in this game as well. Obviously, they're a smaller squad, so they need to make sure everyone's fit to get the maximum out of them. But yeah, it was a rare off day for them because they're normally a lot more solid at home, as we found out when we played them.
Yeah, and you say, I mean, you'd think when you're 5-1 up, you'd think that you would, like you say, take your foot off the gas. I can remember a few years ago watching Leicester with my son and his now wife, his then girlfriend, pre-birth of the grandchild. And we were 5-0 up against a certain team that played in red and white stripes away at their end. And I went to her and I turned around and I said, relax in this second half, nothing will happen. We're 5-0 up. Southampton are down to 10 men. I said, we'll just enjoy this, and have a bit of banter with the away fans, who were over the home fans, who were brilliant. I got to say, they were bantering back at us because they'd got Man City the week after. Yes, exactly. And then, of course, we went and put 4 more goals in. And shows I know nothing about football, as I say. But I would imagine if you're a Southampton fan, you're thinking like, oh, who have we got next? Because we're up for this. And who do they have next?
Well, they have the mighty Leicester City tonight at home, So you think if they want to get some revenge for all these times we've gone there. I mean, let's remember last time we played them in the Championship, we won 5-0, didn't we? I mean, it's all the warning signs are there for us tonight, especially when all we've really seen is a bit more fight in the team last time. We're still lacking in quality with passing the ball for one. So it's a bit concerning to me, this, Chris, but we'll see how it goes. We have defended quite well against the big teams, though, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, I am concerned as well. We didn't do that well. Oh no, we beat them. Did we beat them twice? They certainly didn't take any points. Yes, we beat them twice because, of course, Ayew in the 99th plus 10 minutes or whatever it was got the winner. This just worries me because they're still sort of enjoying the new manager bounce.
Well, he's only the caretaker, but I think he's talked himself into the job here, hasn't he? He's taken 3 games now and he's won all 3 of them.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that is the point. I mean, if this guy doesn't get the job, the guy that comes in instead of him is going to be really under pressure.
100%, mate, 100%. I think he has identified the problem. I think the fact he said it in the post-match, the fact they had to play through the lines quicker and to create better goal-scoring chances because they were creating, even against teams they were not scoring against, like 10 chances a game. They just weren't good chances, So if they're sharp tonight, I tell you what, this game tonight's going to be fascinating, guys. Please join us for the watch-along because it's going to be interesting because the only way we're going to counteract this is by being as quick and swift as they are. This
is the thing, and we're not. Let's be honest with you. And I know we're going to come on to the Leicester game later on, but like you say, Armchair, it is a big game for Marty regarding selections. I am worried that, unfortunately, a lot of selections aren't in his hands.
No, we've got a lot of suspensions and injuries mounting up, haven't we? So we're going to be forced into the team he gets played tonight. Be intrigued to see what formation he plays tonight. If I was him, I'd be looking at the 3-5-2 tonight.
Well, I would love that, but there we go.
But have we got the players to do it, Chris? We've only got 2 fit centre-back potential. Unless Coley is back.
Yeah. Well, Nelson's training apparently, so
that's some good news.
That should be some good news. Anyway, we'll come on to Leicester, like we say later. Coventry, squeaky bum time, but they did it. The sort of a bit of a derby here. Coventry City 3, West Bromwich Albion 2. And the thing is, West Brom did go down to 10 men and virtually had the whole second half with 10 men. And, Coventry scored 2 of their goals in the second half as they were losing at the time.
Yeah, they were 2-0 down in this one. I mean, West Brom viewed this as a game they threw away, really, because, they all of a sudden, Chris, have dropped down to, 16th because that middle of the pack is incredibly tight. And they started off well, but then unfortunately, Coventry are good at this, aren't they? If you look at how they score their goals, they generally score them in clumps. They might get 2 or 3 within like 15, 20 minutes, and they did it again in this game. They just completely wore them down, especially when the 10-men situation happened. And there is some actual negativity going towards Ryan Mason now from the West Brom fans.
Oh yes, I've seen that. I've seen that. I can remember a few seasons ago when we were in the Premier League, not last season, it was before that, and Ryan Mason took caretaker control of Spurs when they were one of their many "let's sack the manager" moments, and Dave, as co-host, we were asking. I was asking like the team, like who do you want as manager? Because we'd just sacked ours, I think, as well. Can't remember who it was. And Dave actually came and said, "Well, that Ryan Mason at Tottenham is doing okay," and we all went, "You are pissed," you know what I mean? And now he's been given his chance, but there's a lot of anti-Mason posts and feeling about, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And what didn't help him is he had a bit of a Marty game. When Marty has these games where he takes off the wrong player, we feel like half the time. Apparently, he took off Mikey Johnston at the time where he was literally dictating the play for them. He was the only one really contributing to them scoring another goal. And when you're in a dogfight against Coventry, even if you've got 10 men, you've got to have your best players be able to get a ball in. And he took him off. And apparently, he got booed when he was taking him off. And so things are starting to turn there. Their game against Birmingham tonight is going to be fascinating.
Yes, a real local derby. I mean, like I say, West Brom down in 17th. They've lost 7. They've only won 1 in 5. Lost 3 of those. I had this as a 3-1 to Coventry. Oh, skin of my teeth. They're
the worst ones, aren't they, Chris? Like I had Oxford to win 1 and they scored an extra goal at the end, and I was like, "You arseholes."
Yes, I know. I love this format where we're only picking 6 teams for the prediction league because it makes it so. I might have to carry whatever we do, wherever we are, I'll probably have to carry this on next year. So Coventry, a bit like Leicester, they won't mind. They got the 3 points.
No, exactly. They're now 10 points clear of the 3rd place spot, aren't they? So they're already putting a nice little buffer there between themselves and the playoffs. I mean, I know it's not even halfway through the season yet, but everything we're seeing from Coventry, they're going to walk this league, and it's going to be a battle for whoever can get second now, right? And credit to them, Chris, because it was a bit of a decision to sack Mark Robbins and bring in something a bit fresh, but it's proved to be the right decision, ironically.
It has. Armchair said some West Brom fans now want Corberan back. Can't see that happening. 1 or 2 Leicester fans that wanted Marty out a few weeks ago wanted Corberan in as well. It's a strange game, football. It's a strange game. Norwich, wow. Birmingham 4, Norwich 1. Change the manager. Same old. They are... I mean, probably the saving grace for Norwich City is the fact that Leicester may get a points deduction. I mean, they're struggling. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday are on -4 because of a points deduction. Norwich are on 9 in 23rd. They're 4 points behind Sheffield United, who obviously we know we're pretty certain they're going to get out of trouble. Hopefully not for the next couple of weeks, but there we go. They're 4 points behind third from bottom, which also go down. They are in dire straits.
They are. They're really lacking confidence, and I'll go on the record now I think they've made the wrong managerial appointment as well. I'm not sure Philippe Clement's the man to get you out of a dogfight.
I have to say, mate. I have to say, when I saw that appointment, I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? I think they're trying to play total football, Chris, but you're in a dogfight. I think you're too late for that now.
Yeah. I mean, look, again, everybody writes this 4-2-3 fucking 1.
Yeah,
but when you're down there, you have to go for it, hit it. Play Wimbledon long ball.
Yeah, they got a team on paper that could be in the playoffs. Really, I mean, I put them in the playoffs this year, but it just hasn't connected at all.
Well, there's being wrong and there's being wrong, mate. You know.
I know, mate. It's bonkers, isn't it? You know. But then I didn't have Coventry in the top 6 either. So what do I know about football?
Exactly. Well, exactly. What do any of us know? Yeah, I mean, like I say, just totally and utterly weird appointment, like you say. Birmingham. Let's give Birmingham the credit, though. You know, there were a lot of Birmingham City fans that were beginning to wonder about the manager, shall we say, expecting them to do what Ipswich had done.
Yeah, which they still might.
But Ipswich were at it from the start when they got the promotion. They were literally on our coattails from sort of week 2 or 3.
True.
And Birmingham, look, you know, they got this new stadium, which I saw a picture, and I don't know how real it was, but it looks like Battersea Power Station.
It does, doesn't it? It's very bizarre.
That's the first thing I saw. Like, what the fuck are that? I mean, I laughed at Man United's Jerry Cottle Circus tent stadium. But this one, Jesus Christ, is there going to be smoke coming out of those chimneys?
Yeah, one of their fans joked on Twitter, and I loved it. He said, when we get a new manager, we could do what they do in the Vatican for the Pope and just put some smoke coming out of the tower. Sorry. So every time Birmingham appoint a new manager, guys, in the chat, I think you're going to see white smoke coming out of one of those towers.
That is a classic. You nearly killed me there, but that is an absolute classic.
I should have waited till you stopped drinking. I thought that was going to get you.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
But you know what's crazy about Birmingham, Chris, is that like they've now scored 4 goals in the last 3 home games. So they are getting into a bit of a run now, and they've got money to spend, right? I still think my prediction of them coming in the top 2 might come true, because they got money they can invest as well.
Well, a few people have them in at least in the playoffs. I didn't, to be honest with you, but you say, what do I know? I mean, again, Armchair says their Sargent will be off in January.
Yeah,
I think come January, if they're still around there, they are going to be right for picking, having their players picked, I think. So Norwich in trouble. Birmingham up to 9th. They are on the same points as us, but they got a +6, which obviously results like that help compared to our +3. They're also on the same points as Ipswich, and they're only a point off the playoffs. That said, we're only 2 points off the playoff. But no, well done to Birmingham, 4-1. Jesus Christ. Now, Derby.
Yeah.
Wow. I had this down. Derby 2, Watford 3. Guess what score? Which isn't on the thing. I do apologise. We're in a different order, but Derby 2, Watford 3. What result do you think I predicted?
Well, bear in mind, Derby just won 5 on the bounce. I'm pretty sure you went for 2-1 Derby, didn't you?
No. It was worse than that. I went 3-2 to Derby.
Oh, that's even worse. Oh, mate, bless you. And the 2 goals were late in this as well, 85 minutes plus for Watford.
Yeah. I
had the Watford win.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming at all. I do apologise that I've jumped on. I'll try and get back on track. We've done Birmingham. No, it's just the Ipswich one that's come up early. Well done to Watford. I thought Derby had this in the bag. But look, they're up to 12th now, Derby. And again, we were talking a few weeks ago, and that's it with this league. A couple of good results, and you're right up there.
Yeah, that's very true. They got a big problem coming out of this game, though, because top championship goal scorer Carlton Morris picked up an injury. And he's obviously been their main man putting the ball in the back of the net as well. So hopefully for them, he's not going to be out long term, because obviously they're on this good run, and that guy's been putting a lot of the goals in the back of the net for them. So that could be a challenge they're going to have to face here. But obviously Watford bringing in Javi Gracia back to the club as well, you know, and I mean, it's a funny one, because obviously Derby went 5 wins before this one, and they changed their formation from 4-4-2 to get back to, I think it's more of a 3-4-3 nowadays, Chris, they play, or something along those lines. But once again, they've changed their system, and it's made all the difference for them. So, I mean, credit to the manager there. I mean, Eustace done a great job at Blackburn the year before, didn't he? It took him a while, but he got there, you know. So, ended Derby's 5-match winning streak, and, we'll see how they recover from the injury.
Yeah, like you say, they'd won 4 on a trot.
Mm.
Watford are hard
11th.
to find. 11th, so yes,
They're
they're
exactly the same as Derby.
yeah, exactly. That's the point. Yeah, the mid-table. That's where you'd expect to find them. Ipswich Wrexham. This was
Mm.
my one and only point in the prediction league that I
How
went. I went 1-1.
did you really? Because I mean, they scored 4 the other weeks. I went 4-0 Ipswich again. I thought they were going to do it back-to-back weeks. I was completely off.
I just thought Wrexham. That again, after a start, and there was questions about Phil Parkinson. Interestingly, I saw a Wrexham fan had put up that Phil Parkinson was at um, a lunch or a presentation or something recently, and he actually came out and said something along the lines of all these YouTube football channels giving so much negativity out about their teams, they need to change. And he's like, ooh,
Oh, that's
yes,
a bit sharp. But then again, this team had no shots on target in this game.
well,
You
yes,
make a rod from your own back, don't you?
Well, he's a brave man to come out and say that, isn't it? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it smacks to me as a man in under pressure, to be honest with you. But then Wrexham have been doing better recently. They've not lost in 5, although they've only won 2 of those, in fairness, which is
Yeah.
why I went for the draw. Ipswich had they've had a couple of, including this one, 2 draws in the last 5 as well. And they're still stuttering. I mean, Ipswich have only lost 3, but they have got 6 draws. They do stutter a bit.
Yeah, they've not really got on a run yet, have they? I think we all suspected they might, get on a run in a minute. And every time it starts, like you say, the engine stalls, doesn't it? And then something like this happens. And they were battering Wrexham in this game. Like I say, Wrexham had no shots. It was Wrexham turned up there to get a point, and they got the point. And Ipswich really needs to find a way to win this. So the Wrexham goalkeeper was the Championship goalkeeper of the week this week, which kind of shows you what sort of game this was. But they'll look at this as like they should have won this game, irrelevant of whoever they were playing and how that team was set up against them.
Yes.
And they're not very happy with Casey McAteer either. They think we've ripped them off.
Ipswich do.
Yeah, they're like he's awful. They don't rate him at all.
It's funny that, isn't it? Because I was speaking to a very nice Leeds. Well, she wasn't a Leeds fan; she was a Liverpool fan. But her brother-in-law is, her sister-in-law, I should say. Sorry, I'll get myself into trouble. Her sister-in-law is very, very close. Should we just say to James Justin?
Oh, okay, interesting.
And absolutely hates him.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
She said the Leeds fans just haven't taken to him at all.
No, it's remarkable.
Being played out of position. So you look at all these players that Leicester sold after our shit season, and they're all performing shit, and they're wondering why.
Yeah, I remember being quite disappointed about Casey going, but then actually the money might have proved to be worth it, actually, in hindsight, because, he's not pulling up any trees there, is he? And they signed him to really make a mark.
The thing is, and this is the risk when you buy players, is that they've been looking at Casey McAteer. So he was an up-and-coming prospect, I think, and thought, oh, yeah, he's doing a good job. He was one of our better players, let's be honest. It didn't take a lot, I'm going to say, but I think he was. But as I say, it was a very low bar. But he, when you're looking at a player and they look good in one team, doesn't mean they're going to look good in your team. Daka looked absolutely on fire for was it Salzburg, wherever he was at. Yeah. But then you've got to think, well, look who his striking partner was, a certain Mr. Haaland.
Absolutely.
Brings them in and not played in the same formation or the same position. And suddenly, like I say, that's the risk when you buy players. I mean, look at Wrexham and a certain Mr. Connor Talksport Cody.
Yeah, exactly. He's been hanging around Downing Street recently using his mouth more than his feet, hasn't he? So, he's preparing for his next career. But, I think it's funny, really, because we can give, the director of football and, people at the club a lot of stick. But I think a lot of those players we have sold this year, they're not exactly doing things that are making us miss them.
No.
Really?
like Steve said, props to Rudkin for getting the money he did in some of those cases.
Yeah, you've got to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing I was going to say, in defence of Conor Cody, look, we were happy when we bought him because of his history, ex-England defender, in fairness. And he's only on these shows with the permission of the club.
That's right. And they are very into that commercial nature of being out there and talking. So obviously it brings in revenue for them, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And, he would not be on the radio as much as he was when he was at Leicester if we hadn't been given him permission. Because he wasn't let's be honest with you, for us for a while, he wasn't a starter. So there was no reason why he shouldn't go off and be. You're not going to put sort of like last in Jamie Vardy on there because he's starting every week. You need him in training. So
it's interesting with Conor Cody because he was always best in a back three, wasn't he, at Wolves? And we never played a back three particularly. Not to say that would have made him world class, but
no. But again, like I say, you buy a player because you look and think, oh, he's a good defender. Yeah, but they play this way. We don't play that way. Why are you buying him?
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. And Derby is there, so we will ignore that one. But Portsmouth, Millwall. Again, one I got completely wrong here because I went 1-0 to Millwall, who, let's be honest with you, again, after they played us and did well against us, were on a bit of a run.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it was very much, again, Portsmouth had to kind of get a result, though, because once again, like Swansea, they've been slipping down the league table very quietly, hadn't they? It's their first win this one since early October, would you believe it, Chris? Which shows you how quick time can go. It's nearly 2 months. It was really a game of good individual goals today, which of today, when it happened, Saturday. But yeah, and also Josh Murphy was finally back for them. He's had 2 injuries this season, hasn't he? And we looked at him in the summer, and I said when he's back fit for them, they'll probably look a little bit sharper, and it seemed to be the case in this one.
No, totally. I mean, they are sat in 19th. I think Portsmouth fans would take that if they're there at the end of the season. They got promoted last season. They are. I mean, I love the ground. I've got to say, I think it's one of my favourite grounds in football. But I think that they will. I don't see them going down, but I don't see them particularly causing major stirrings, if you like, in that league. Millwall, sorry.
I was just saying, definitely in that category of their home form is going to keep them in the league, isn't it, hopefully?
Yeah. Millwall, meanwhile, up to 7th, or down to 7th, I should say. Sorry, down to 7th. I went for this as a 1-0 win to Millwall because they had been on a decent run. Now that was their second loss in 5, and suddenly, they were up to 3rd a few weeks ago. I think after beating us, down to 7th now. Maybe that was just a bit of a spurt for Millwall.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Neil in the post-match this was being quite moany about a few things. Like, number one, they've got some injuries now, and very much like it's like Charlton and Preston. I think if they get a few injuries, they haven't got much outside of that first 11 potentially. Yeah. And I think this is a game which kind of proved that. So and the red card for them as well. He wasn't happy with the red card. It was for 2 yellows, I believe. Actually, it might have been. I can't quite remember. Actually, I should have written it down. It was 2 yellows, and I think it was harsh. Basically, the manager did anyway. So. But yeah, I mean, you'd expect Millwall to be looking at this as a disappointing result, bearing where they were, like you say. But really, would they have been expected to be in the 7th place so far? Maybe not.
Yeah. QPR 3, Hull 2. Again, throwing the form book on its head, really. QPR down in 15th. It was their first win in 5. Hull was their second loss in 5. I mean, I had this as down as a Hull win every day of the week and twice on Sunday, as they say.
Yeah, it's a bit. Well, you can say it's a surprise, but I look at these teams and go, "There's not much between them." And QPR had 26 shots in this game, Chris. They utterly battered them. I mean, Hull have got a little bit more finesse in their finishing, perhaps, but very frantic game, And Hull have started to get a little bit leaky at the back, you'd argue now, from earlier in the season, which is probably not helping them too much. But QPR, mate, I mean, from what their players are saying and their manager, they've still got their eyes set on the playoffs and they're in 15th, so they've obviously got some confidence in themselves.
Well, I was just looking then to say they were they're 15th, 22 points, -5. And Hull in 6th, which is obviously the lower of the last one in the playoffs. 25 points with +1, 3 points difference.
Yeah, it's very little in it. I'd love to manage in this league with a group like QPR, because I think if you had some good tactical nous, you could really overachieve. I think because there's a lot of teams on the same level, isn't there?
Well, all I'll say is look at Will Still. Do your job right on the Football Manager show, and who knows where you could end up, Tom.
I almost lost the dressing room in episode 2, Chris. So that shows you everything, doesn't it?
Yes. And if you like a bit of tactical, and it is, I mean, I watched it, although I wasn't. I popped in and out of the chat. Maybe I was being a bit too cheeky in the chat, you know.
It was great. No, we loved it.
John Rudkin had a word with me about you and all this, but it is great because you know you have the game, but there's so much on the tactical side, and like you say, you know, you change things during the match to I put hand cream on, and I've just touched my lips, and all I can do now is taste hand cream. Yeah, you took a couple of the players aside, put your arm around them, and suddenly they were primetime Messi. So it's really good. Check it out, guys. LTID TV, Leicester Till I Die TV, Football Manager. It's the third one down, I think, fourth one down. And you'll see there's the two matches there. The 2 weeks, that we've had. Great. Do catch up on that.
I'm playing the kids. We all want to see the kids play. It's just the kids from League Two, so it's a complete experiment.
Well, as somebody more famous than me once said, you're not going to win anything with kids, but are you? That's the question. Not AU.
No.
Talking of AU, Jim's in. Hiya, Jim. How are you doing?
Great point from Armchair Jockey there quickly as well, mate. Wish we get Ryan Giles in from Hull best left back. We were linked with him once as well.
Well, we need a left back, don't we? We do.
Yeah. Very quick, very pacey. One of the paciest left backs in the league.
I wouldn't. Well, let's be honest with you. We could buy anybody, couldn't we? We just can't afford to buy anybody. Jim's in. Like I say, this channel sure has a lot of interesting shows. I tell you what, the watch along is really good. Do join in, and they are going to be carrying on. Although I'm not going to be here soon, but they've got some American guy on, Tom. I don't know if you've seen him. What do you think of him?
I think he's starting to look a bit like Father Christmas at the minute, or Santa Claus, as he would say, because he started to join the bearded club. You know, I mean, I'm not shaving till the Leafs win their next game, so I'll be waiting till beyond Christmas. But yeah,
I do, Jim. How you doing, mate? Right. Dare we mention Oxford? 1-1 with Middlesbrough. Again, let's just say this was. I went 2-0 to Middlesbrough. Sorry, Tom.
I went for a draw, and I'm really annoyed you didn't pick this for the Super Six. I've got a good read on Oxford most weeks.
That's why I'm not putting them in, mate. I'm trying to get you down there with me. Bad enough Jim beating me as well as he is doing. 1-1, and they were leading for a lot of them. This is the game that got Wayne into trouble, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those funny games, this one, because it was very much actually like. It went through phases. Oxford gave up a lot of possession in this, as you'd expect, but they broke a bit more directly. And they actually had a big chance at the end, Chris, to nick this 2-1. And you do wonder when they're down there with 14 points, I believe, just hanging above that relegation zone with Sheffield United hovering over their shoulder now by a point. You think, goodness me, at the end of the season, those 2 points you could have nicked there might be everything, mightn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to sound, I know a lot, what Charlton is to me, Oxford is to you. Yeah. I have got them to go down. I apologise for that. Middlesbrough in second, falling off the pace a little bit now, 7 points behind Coventry. They've only lost 2 again all season. But, look, I think I've got to be careful here because the guy that they had, and I forget his name now, it was Edwards. He was an ex-Wolves player, wasn't he?
Yeah, because you've been quite vocal about him leaving, but it's kind of like him going back to the club he truly loves, isn't it?
Well, I was very much like this with when Brian Little went to Aston Villa.
Yeah, from Leicester, yeah.
He understood it because Villa was his club, and you don't know how, sometimes with these jobs, if you don't take them, you'll regret it and Martin O'Neill going to Celtic, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
that he turned down Leeds, he turned down Everton, he couldn't turn down Celtic because again it was his club that he'd followed, and so actually thinking about it, I probably have been a bit harsh on Rob Edwards. In fairness,
I understand your thing about loyalty, Chris. I understand your thing about loyalty, but it's modern day football. Is there loyalty?
well, exactly. They'd as soon sacked him if he was, second from bottom now.
Yeah.
Armchair, yeah. I don't know how I could forget his name. I really don't. Maybe it's his son. Does his son play football? Maybe that's Jake. I don't know.
I was going to say, I'm surprised the Wolves manager isn't Jake Evans.
Bum bum. Thank you. Oh, pick on Chris Day. But yeah, no. So I'm feeling less sorry for Middlesbrough now because it is a case of even when Enzo left us, if he'd got us relegated, would we have sacked him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting with this new manager appointment they got coming up with Kim Hellberg. So that seems a little bit of a left field one from where they were. So it's an interesting one because I mean, I've said this earlier on in this show, Chris, and other ones in the past, and I'm not sure Middlesbrough are all that, and I'm going to eat my words here when they get automatic promotion, but I don't fancy them to finish in the automatic promotion places.
Wow.
I don't think they've got enough depth. I don't think they're much different than the teams below them.
Well, I've got to say, had a certain team in red and white stripes beaten a certain team in blue, they'd be in third. They wouldn't be in second.
That's right. We could have beaten them as well, couldn't we?
Yes, yeah. I'd say, having said that, Middlesbrough have been through the turmoil because when a manager leaves rather than a manager being sacked, it does kind of throw you off skit a bit, as we well know.
It does.
So we'll see what happens there. And hello, Mr. Twitch.
Yeah. Great point from Armchair. Like Morgan Whittaker is their main man, isn't he? Ever since Plymouth got rid of him, they fell like a stone.
Yeah. Well, again, like I say, that's it when you are taking players from other teams. Do you think Oxford can survive?
I think they can, but will they? I'm starting to get a little bit. I don't think they should sack the manager. I think the manager has been very good for them, and I think he's getting the best out of them they can. But being realistic, mate, they've got one of the smallest budgets in the league, and I think they're making the best of what they got. So I don't know. I think it's going to be very close. I think it'll take someone else getting worse.
Possibly, yeah. Good point. Okay, so. As we always say, guys, if you're on Twitch, if you want to pay money to get followers, do. That's completely up to yourself. Next up, talking of Stoke, red and white, where the hell did this one come from? I'm not gonna sort of ruin the surprise for everybody when they tune into the watch along tonight. But one of us has gone for a defeat for Leicester tonight. Not saying who that is. And one of us has gone for a victory. Not saying who.
Yeah.
But this was completely left field.
Well, it was. I mean, Stoke fans, I went on their forum afterwards, had a bit of a nosy because you want to go see what they're saying, right? And they were like, how have we lost this game? How have we lost this game? Because certain fans were like really angry about it. Other fans were like, well, we actually dominated this and we should have won. It was just we didn't take our opportunities, and Begovic had a world game and all the rest of it. And and the reality is, I used the step analogy, and I said I think there's 5 steps to football. We're on step 1, where you actually turned up and put a bit of battle in and a bit of pushback. But I still think we're really nowhere near that 5th step yet, being able to play fluid football for one. We struggled with that completely. So a bit of a smash and grab, but we'll take the 3 points, and I was very happy with them.
Exactly, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I don't think we'll get to that fluid football situation this season because of the players that we've got and what have you. But you take this, like you say, when it's a smash and grab, you take it, And I mean, we did the review show last night, and my God, the momentum chart, there was hardly any blue and a load of red on for Stoke. Even when we'd scored the first goal. And I mean, if you are the team that lets Daka score against you, make a note in your diary, guys. 12 months' time, Daka will get his next goal. But Yeah, I'm happily shocked. I'm happily shocked. The problem for me was, and I said this last night, and do check it out, guys, on the review show, and we looked at this game in depth. At 2-1, I never sat. I mean, and I know all this. It's the worst score, 2-0 to defend, and all this. But at 2-1, I was just thinking, right, they're going to come back and win this.
Yeah, it was a little bit like it, wasn't it? I mean, if it wasn't for Begovic, they possibly could have done as well. And it was annoying because we really walked out of that dressing room and didn't switch on for 5 minutes, did we? And you kind of think we could have dealt with that first goal. And, and even more worrying than that, Chris, is, and like, look, I'm one for a bit of defensive resilience. I think that is really a nice thing to see. But you can't do it for 95% of all your football matches. You're going to get caught. You need to be able to have something else. And my worry was, this is the perfect game where I go, right, they're going to come on to you. We need to have some counter-attacking football in our game where we can nick another goal to make it easier for ourselves. And we still haven't got it, but we got the players who could do it. And I think that is on Marty, and that's something Marty's really got to work on.
Marty, by the way, if you are watching this, call me. Because any fan will tell you, any Leicester fan will tell you, Marty, the Achilles heel of Leicester City is the 35th to the 45th minute and the 45th to the 55th minute. At the end of the first half and the start of the second half, we are fucking useless.
We are, yeah.
I'm going to start, actually, when we're doing watch-alongs, at half-time, I'm going to go out and come back at the 55th minute. And, because we do, don't we? We either concede just before or just after the break.
Yeah, we do. It's bizarre, isn't it? But when there are trends there, like you say, you've got to work on them and try and get better with them, Chris. Yeah, and the thing that worries me is that I've not seen a complete game from us. And look, the fans there's still quite a lot of anti-Marty stuff going on. And look, I still think we're kind of in a stuck situation with what we're working with. But I am leaning now towards that line of, like you are as well, I believe, that Marty can make this a bit easier for himself by just tactically evolving us a bit more as well. Because I think right now we're still too deep. And tonight's game, for example, against Southampton, that could really bite us because they're scoring goals.
Yes.
He could work himself into trouble.
I don't necessarily want Marty to go.
No, me neither.
Because I think it would just be stupid. All I will say is I'm not sure where they are in that, and I don't think they lost the other night, Man United, but look at Amorim.
Oh, yeah. They lost 1-0 to 10-man blooming Everton, didn't they?
Yes. But they're not having a bad season.
No, I mean, funny thing is, the mid-table of the Premier League is like the mid-table of the Championship. It's really tight.
It is, but also, do you not think that when you bring a manager in, it's more, 9 times out of 10, you're bringing a new manager in because you've sacked your previous manager.
Yeah, true.
Occasionally, like Middlesbrough, it's different reasons. But generally speaking, it's because you've sacked somebody. And why have you sacked that manager? Because you're not doing very well. So that new manager that comes in has got to, usually work with what he's been left.
Yeah, true.
And he's got to be given time. Not always. Look at Rude. He had time and he didn't do it. But I'm just looking now. I mean, Man United, they're down in 10th. They were up to like 6th or 7th.
They were second at one point or something, or third, yeah.
That high. Yeah. So, if they'd sacked Amorim at the end of last season and brought in a new manager, it'd have just been deja vu.
The funny thing... Yeah, so you carry on, mate. You finish your point.
I'm going to say, and I think the thing is with Marty, is that what would we gain by sacking him? Because whoever comes in, they're going to have the same group of players. The only option they can do is to change the formation. Right? Yeah. That's all that's there. They can't bring players, and I doubt we're talking the other day about a possible transfer embargo in January. Even if there's not one. Because even if there's not one, we're probably not going to be able to afford to bring anybody in anyway. No. So if we sack Marty, whoever comes in has got this same pile of turds to play with, and we're just starting again, and we're wasting more money on paying off. And I think his job's safe because we couldn't sack Ruud van Nistelrooy until this season, so that it went into this season's money. And I don't think we'd be able to sack Marty in the same season as Ruud financially. So I think he's probably got the safest job in the Championship.
I don't know. I mean, our board's funny, Chris, isn't it? Because the fan noise seems to get to them after a point, because you could think that maybe Cooper got the push a bit early in hindsight.
Oh, yes.
And that was probably because of the fans not really taking to him, let alone the system and all the rest of it. But it's funny because I look at Man United and Leicester, and actually there is a thing you could compare the two of them with. I don't think Amarin's done a bad job at Man United, but I think the interesting thing about him is that the formation he plays and the tactics he wants to play doesn't suit the players at his disposal. Because he wants to play three at the back, and he's actually not got the players who can actually play that. He's now playing Luke Shaw as a centre back in that formation, which he's not. He's a left back. Which shows you he's not got enough players. But then you'd also go, how has that communication not gone through the club this summer? So he's brought those players in. And I do wonder with Marty, looking at this, I mean, is this the best formation we're going to line up with this season with the players we've got? I mean, because we don't really look like we're threatening much on the attack at all, do we, really? We get, 2 or 3 chances a game, and we have to score them. If we don't, Mavrididi's missed it, or whoever, then we're generally up shit creek without a paddle at the moment. So that's the thing that gets me about it. And that's where Marty really has got to consider. Like I said, I quite like the 3-5-2. I think we look much more dangerous playing that. But I think that's something we can consider, and I think it can go either way. I think maybe we could change the manager for a guy with a different tactical vision, but it goes back down again to the club needs to have a vision. I mean, Brighton, whenever they change a manager, they have a vision of who they want next. We're not really like that. We
but they're not in the financial restraints that we are. And taking PSR aside as in regards to points deduction, because we're never going to agree on that. But even with or without that, financially, we cannot afford to sack 2 managers in the same season. Nottingham Forest, I think, will find this out further down the line when it comes to PSR, because they've had to pay off Nuno and they had to pay off Ange as well. So that's a lot of money that they committed to that particular thing. So that's why I think Marty is going to be pretty safe. I think he needs time, and I will go mad, as I have done when we've lost, and I went mad at that. I was been very anti-Marty if with that formation he'd put out and players if we'd lost the game. But we didn't lose the game, and you've got to say fair play. And in this week it was limited as to who we could pick.
Have you seen that stat about Oliver Skipp, by the way? Interestingly, there's an interesting stat that's come out about Skipp this week.
Go on.
In the last 8 games he's played for Leicester, we've won 5 and drawn 3. We're not lost.
Whoa.
So isn't that interesting? Because obviously he's not really my favourite. He's not a lot of fans' favourite. He doesn't particularly look happy to be there either. But for some reason, when he's been playing, we actually seem to get better results, which is bizarre.
Well, I mean, when Skip, I again was quite happy when we signed Skip. And everybody said, they're saying 25. As far as I know, it was 20 million. But he was a good, experienced player. And a lot of the Spurs fans were sorry to see him go. And I don't mean sorry to see him go as in Vestergaard and Bertrand at Southampton. They were
to get them up to us.
Yeah, we really don't want him to go.
Yeah, I know.
But with Skip, it was actually, we don't want him to go. And I was quite happy with that. And then I wanted to see, and I don't think he got given the time. Any player that comes in, it's like us saying, Eduardo was a shit striker, wasn't he? Well, we don't know. I mean, we never saw him. Who knows what he could have done? Something happened there and what have you. But Skip didn't get the chance, and when he did get the chance with Winks, and I thought, here we go, because these are the 2 I wanted to see together. And I remember saying to you, I want to see this partnership, and then it was fucking shit.
They look like they just couldn't play together, did they?
Yes, But when you look at things like that, and he didn't have a particularly bad game the other day.
No, I think he was all right. Yeah,
and I don't want to upset you. Please, if you want to get the tissues ready, but I think he's the better option over Soumare. Everybody, Tom has got tissues next to his computer. Read into that what you will.
I've had a cold, just so you know. That's why the voice is.
Oh, yes, of course you
Yeah.
did. Yes. Tom had a cold. Yeah, we know that. Now your secret's out, Tom. Your secret is out. And if you didn't, that's not going to get clipped. You got another thing coming. But now, all joking aside, he didn't. You know, I'd have him in over Samare.
Yeah, I think I would now as well. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just felt from what we've seen before, like you actually admitted to yourself, Chris, that when we played Skip and Winks before, it just was a barn fire, and that was why I was like, that's why I joked. We're better off putting Samari in there if that's what he's going to do. I wanted like everyone else. I wanted James back there and Bobby deckled over Reed in the 10.
Yes. Yeah.
If
James is fit, Skip doesn't get a look in. But I think if James is taken off, or as an injury or a suspension, then for me it should be Skip that comes on. A game that I actually, in fairness, had on whilst I was doing my on a Sunday. I do my radio prep for the next week, and that was the Steel City derby.
Yeah, I predicted a Sheffield Wednesday winner, so I was miles off.
You did what?
Well, I thought to myself.
In fairness, I apologise. That wasn't really that out there, to be honest with you, because I went 1-1, and it was probably for the same reason.
I thought at home they're just going to be up for this one, aren't they? You know, they've had a real bad season. They're going to want to put a marker down, and they got completely, utterly overwhelmed by Sheffield United. It was a night and day difference.
Yes, yeah. Had they played Sheffield United under whoever was there, and I'm sure he was probably called Edwards, but whoever was there before... Sellers, of course, yes. Had they played United under Sellers, they probably would have got something. I thought as a derby game, exactly the same as you, mate. Like, we got a point to prove. If we win this, we go to -1. You know, they're in the bottom there with us, Sheffield United, who obviously we've got.
Saturday.
Yeah.
12:30, early kickoff.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I hate that because I've got my radio show in the morning. I'm like jumping from one straight onto the other.
I'm going to have to wake him up, guys, from his nap, ready for the watch along.
True, because I go back to bed after I'm doing that.
No,
You're not getting up at 6 o'clock on a Saturday bloody morning, are you? But no, I mean, you look at this, and I thought Sheffield Wednesday, like you said, would be up for it. But fair play, this is Sheffield United under Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
They're a different kettle of fish, aren't they?
They are. I mean, I still think they've got a long way to go, though. I mean, it shows you what one summer of completely derailing your own progress has done for the club, because he's now obviously brought in like a couple of free transfers to this group, hasn't he? And in Jero Wilderwild, he used to play for Crystal Palace, and this week he brought in Bamford, didn't he? Who they famously had a bit of a spat with in the past. So yeah, he obviously has turned around and gone, what have you done to my group of players when I've been gone for like literally a few weeks, and completely ruined all the progress. So I still think they've got a long way to go if they want to consider being promotion candidates again, Chris.
To be honest, if I was a Sheffield United fan, I would say just get us to mid-table, please.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to, and then stick with it this year and let him rebuild the team. But I just can't believe how much they got it wrong within a few weeks.
No. Brought Tom Cannon on, and Tom Cannon scores.
Yeah, another Leicester player gets a lot of abuse from his new supporters. They don't like him very much, though, either. They don't think he's any good. But he did get the goal, so fair play to him on this occasion, eh?
Yeah, indeed. Just one. I mean, all right. Let's move on then, because there's the table.
Yeah.
I said this the other day to Steve, and I'm going to say this every week. Remembering where we were from the last day of last season, if I'd have said after 16 games, coming up to halfway through the season, that we were 10th in the top half, would you be happy with that?
It's a very difficult question to answer, that, Chris, isn't it? But I must admit, I didn't really know what to
God,
expect.
it's a yes or no.
I'll go with yes, because that little demon in the back of my mind, the devil's advocate, was thinking we could do a Luton this year at worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I will take it, because I also appreciate the Championship can be quite tight in the middle, which it is. So there's still a lot to play for, depending on points deductions and all the rest of it.
Yes. Talk us through that top half of the table, though.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because if you look at what we would have predicted, and we seem to be saying this every week, I don't think any of us would have had, Preston, Hull, a right up in there, which they are. They're the sort of the ones that are gate crashing the big boys parade almost, aren't they? But it's funny, because a lot of the teams now that started off slow, like Ipswich, Birmingham, who we had suspicion might be up there, are starting now to eat into the teams above them who've got off to good starts. And like we said throughout the show, when going through the individual games as well, Chris, there's been this thing of, I think, Middlesbrough for one, Millwall for another, Hull and Preston. They've only really probably got a strong first 11 players, and when they're starting to get injuries, can they maintain this, or are we going to see even some teams from the bottom half, of the way the points are distributed, starting to encroach on this? It's a very exciting league, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just sending Wayne a message. Let's have a look at the bottom half, shall we? Because we can look at this quite happily now, knowing we're not in it.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. No, not yet. I should have added that. Look, I think we're going to say, aren't we? Sheffield Wednesday are down.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, credit to them, because they've really fought hard, haven't they? But ultimately now they've actually got a lot of these problems out of the way. The quality is starting to show it's not there.
Yes, yeah. I can't see Norwich getting out of it.
I tell you what, I'm not sure. We've both agreed with this. We're not convinced on their appointment. Maybe he'll make us eat humble pie, but I'm not sure it's the appointment you need. When you need a fighter in this situation, I'm not sure he's the guy for the job. So I agree with you. I think Norwich are bang in trouble.
Yeah. I think United will. Oxford, unfortunately, I had predicted them to go down, but there's it's still tight down there. Let's not lie. But West Brom, I think, are getting dragged into it. They'll need to change things around. Blackburn Rovers, they're starting now. They've got a good, decent manager. John Eustace used to be a player there. Again, the reason why he went. Southampton, I think Southampton upwards are pretty much will be safe. I think
they'll be in the play. I think they might even get the second automatic, Chris. They might get on a run.
And Charlton, yes, I think. And what makes me laugh about Charlton is, again, and me to a point as well, had to think, well, yeah, maybe we should put Charlton because they're the playoff winners.
Well, it's interesting. That's the point this year. The three teams that have come up are Birmingham, Wrexham and Charlton. And with them coming up, and now look, the lowest one's 14th, it really puts the teams that have been in the Championship for a few years now at great risk. You know, and there was always going to be someone that's going to get caught out. And so far, it's looking like Norwich. I still worry a bit for Swansea as well.
Yeah.
And maybe Portsmouth.
Yeah, no, I think both those two teams could be dragged into it. Right. Here we go then. So, it is time. It is time. Yes, indeed. You have your cup ready, sir.
You've got the matching trophy on the graphic now. Well done to you, mate.
Hey, up here. Don't waste my afternoons, Performance of the week.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one this week. So as you know, guys, in case you haven't seen this before, I'll give out 3 nominations for Chris. He doesn't have to choose from my nominations. That's the beauty of it. He can completely poleaxe me and go for what he thinks. And I think this is one of the weeks where my 3 nominations might not match up with your thought process, Chris. Because it's very much. I think there's 6 teams this week you could probably go for different reasons, but I'm coming from a place of where they've improved from previous weeks, right? So to give you my nominations for this week's performance of the week in the Championship, the first one I got is going to be Portsmouth, because they're coming, obviously their home win against Millwall, who were right up in the top 3 at the time, or top 4, whatever else. Their first win since early October, and of course against a very good team, and to score 3 against them as well, very good result. So that's the first one I'm nominating this week. The second one is a South Coast theme as well. You've got to give it to them, and I hate to do it with us playing them tonight. Southampton. I mean, to go and score 5 against Charlton. You remember when we played them and how we got the 1-0?
Yeah.
They were defensively very sound, really, and I think to go out there and completely rip them to shreds, no other team has done that this season, especially at their place. So 5 goals in 45 minutes as well. Third win on the spin. I think they deserve a nomination this week. And my third nomination is going to go for Watford away at Derby, because they got stuck in there. They nicked the game in the last 5 minutes with 2 goals. But of course, once again, they've come up against a Derby team that had won 5 games in a row and had been very good at home. So I think that was very unexpected. But like I say, it's one of those weeks where I think you could even argue Wrexham for drawing the 0-0 at Ipswich, parking the bus and getting the job done. There's many more. So I'll go with those 3, Chris, and see what you think. But Portsmouth, Southampton and Watford would get my nominations.
Interesting. When you look at some of these results, I even tempted with Coventry because they were behind.
Maybe Leicester.
Yeah, the problem with Leicester is I actually see the performance.
That's true.
It's more the result than the performance. So yeah, let's just go through these. So yeah, Southampton. I'm going to say that was one of my first thoughts that came into my head. I completely understand where you're coming from with Southampton. Coventry, possibly, but then I had to sort of dismiss that because you expect that of Coventry at the moment.
It's not unexpected. Yeah, this is a usual performance for Coventry now.
Yes, yeah. So, I sort of kind of dismissed them. Birmingham beating Norwich again. You've got to say that wasn't as probably a surprise
against Norwich, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I kind of see where you went with Watford. Again, I wouldn't argue. I think you got some good choices there. Wrexham getting a point at Ipswich. Possibly.
They did park the bus though. They didn't have any shots on target, so I'm not so sure on that one.
Yeah. Portsmouth, Millwall. Yes, the thing is, you look at the table and you think, oh, they should stuff them. But then when you look at it deeply, there's only 2 points between them. You've got all these places. However, I'm not going to go with one of your 3.
Oh, he's poleaxed me, guys. He loves doing this. Goodness me. All this work I put into it.
You give me the option to poleaxe you.
Yeah, I did, to be fair.
My second choice was going to be Southampton because of the turnaround since, they've sacked Will Still and put in 5 past what, in fairness, isn't a walkover Charlton team. Yeah. So they would be my second. I'm surprised you didn't go for this. I really, really am.
Okay.
I'm actually going to go for Oxford.
Again? Are you going to give it to Oxford? I'm chuffed, but...
Only, and when you say again, I don't know, did I recently give it to them or something? Or?
Yeah, they're now the first 2-time winners of this trophy this season. Interesting.
Well, I looked at that, and if it had been Oxford... Well, I went Oxford 0, Middlesbrough 2, and if it had been Oxford 0, Middlesbrough 3, who would have been surprised?
No one.
And how long... I'm just going to have a look. How long were Oxford leading for?
Till I've got it written down here, mate. Let me just have a look. To the 54th
minute. They scored in the 28th minute.
Yeah.
And Middlesbrough equalised in the 54th.
Yeah.
And I just think, fair play to them. They had only 30% of the possession.
Yeah.
They only had 9 shots compared to Middlesbrough's 19.
Yeah, their goalkeeper had a good second half coming.
Yeah. Of their 9 shots, 2 were on target. Middlesbrough 19 only got the 3 on the target. They had 11 touches in the Middlesbrough box. Middlesbrough had 42. And still to come out with that and get a point,
yeah,
I can't not give it to Oxford.
No, that's interesting. I did think about nominating them, but of course, I kind of know what to expect with Oxford, and this didn't surprise me. Middlesbrough had no manager, and I was like, they'll get a point here, like they did against Millwall, I'm pretty sure as well, didn't they?
Yeah. So Oxford.
Congratulations to Oxford United. I'm delighted with your choice. Obviously, I'll tell you.
Well, yes. Let me just see if I can find this. Here we go. That was short.
That's my usual round of applause, and then they go, "Oh no, it's him again."
So yeah, well done to Oxford. I take it you don't disagree too much with me for going there.
No, I'm always happy when you give it to Oxford because obviously I'd love them to stay up. But when I lived there, they were in the conference, and it was a real difficult time for their supporters, and they've always deserved better. So,
yeah. No, I was impressed with that performance, even if Wayne did get himself in trouble with that game. Tom, we'll be back at 7 tonight, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I can't wait, mate. Part 2 of the main event of today's proceedings.
Yeah, this is just the warm up. We're just teasing you with this one.
This is the lemon sorbet appetizer to cleanse the palate, Chris.
It is indeed. Guys, thank you all very, very much. I'm off to speak to, I think, Sky Germany in a minute. Don't ask why, it's a long conversation. Do what it says at the bottom, subscribe, click the notification bell, like the video, and share it. Share it to other people. We're aiming for 5,000 by the end of the season. We are literally about 497 off doing it. So please do so. Get your mates to subscribe. Tom, thank you very much for coming in. Thank to everybody in the chat as well. And if you've been listening via your favourite podcast platform, whatever that one is, thank you for lending us your ears. And I'll see you in about 5 hours, mate.
Auf Wiedersehen to you, Chris.
Oh, I'm going to say bonjour, but that would have been completely wrong, wouldn't it?
That'd be very unimportant horses. Yeah, au revoir. Yeah.
Au revoir. Au revoir. Take care, mate. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.
Get some more toilet roll.
I'll need a...
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.